Welcome back to the University of Life and love type number 6, true romance. So this is no longer the initial exciting, thrilling, amazing romantic illusion, with its ups and downs, its goods and potential, red flags. This is the slow burn. This is the deep, lasting, abiding, very deeply fulfilling, even though not quite as, the highs and lows aren't quite as extreme. But if you get yourself some romantic illusion and you want that to last, within a couple of years, your chemicals in your body are going to change and you're going to want to come out the other side into true romance, into the lasting stuff. So here's how you do it. There are a couple of truths you just need to acknowledge and then work with those. And the first one is that life is change. You ain't going to stay the same, neither is he or she, whoever you're with. Like, you're going to change. You're going to keep growing, learning, shave off some rough edges, maybe add some more in. And so the key is to have similar enough trajectories, to not grow apart, where you're like, you don't like anything I like to do anymore. I don't like your sense of humor. You don't care. You don't understand me. That's growing apart. You want to grow together. Second thing is to acknowledge that you are not the same person, and you don't have to be the same. You don't have to be all the same interests, have all the same interests. You don't. In fact, we kind of have this idea like you find your other half, your soulmate, whatever, and and like that person completes you, and they're supposed to be everything you need. Not generally so. So maybe you need to have some other friends to share some interests in that your partner does not share. That's fine, that's good. Have a little time apart. Absence makes the heart grow sweeter, fonder, whatever. You come back together and enjoy what you do share. A third thing to recognize is that part of the human psyche is that, wow, we crave novelty. Give me something new, something fresh, not just the same old thing. This is probably the cause for the 7-year itch, where you're like, I'm tired of you, I'm bored, I'm going to go find some other sweetie. It doesn't have to be that way. All you do is you go find that novelty together. Because one of the greatest things about true lasting romance is the fact that you share so much history that nobody else will ever be able to replace. I have friends like widows and stuff who have expressed this, how they just miss someone who knows them that well, who knows their history, who you build something together, create a history. So go take a class, go on a vacation, learn a language, read something together, watch a movie together, I don't know. Do something new so you get some novelty and so you're growing together, and find things, with common interests. I've seen a lot of couples as well who one partner, they really have this big interest, and the other partner has no interest in that whatsoever. Now, on one hand, okay, that's the way things are. But on the other hand, I would, if you need to build a little stronger relationship, give it a little try, try their interest a little bit. You don't have to get into it necessarily as much as they are if it just doesn't fit you. But the fact that you can share some of their excitement for that, I can't imagine they won't really appreciate that and just have some fond memories, and then ask them to do the same for you. So maybe he likes to ride motorcycles. Well, maybe you don't want to do that, but you could ride a mountain bike somewhere. I don't know. Maybe you like to crochet. Sorry for using such cliche biased things. Maybe you like to read or write or something. He doesn't like to, but well, listen to this part, or listen to audiobooks or something instead, and or talk about it, and share your mind. So you find some ways around it to have some common ground, build that history together. In the olden days, like 100 years ago, when psychology was new, Freud, the biggest cliche about Freud was he was a sex fiend and just so hung up on that, right? And attributed everything to that. And when in couples therapy, even up through the 50s, when couples weren't getting along and they went to see a psychologist, sometimes they would prescribe, you just need to have more sex. And on one hand, I can see why they would say that, because these doctors were probably male. And they're like, hey, sex is always good, right? But also because we just hadn't learned enough yet. We just weren't as enlightened as we are becoming now. And so if you another super important thing in this is that romantic love, either type, it does not stand alone. In fact, if all you've got is the romance and you don't have other types of love mixed in with it, then you're probably really, in 2 and 3 videos in the future, we'll talk about what you're probably actually experiencing, and it's not the same. So there better be some invested love in there, and there better be some getting to know and appreciate the other person. So if you're somebody who wants like a more active sex life and your partner doesn't, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional, but I'm going to give a 70% odds that what you ought to do is work on that cathecting, work on helping that person experience their best self, ask questions, show interest, get to know that person, celebrate who they are, enjoy it, because that emotional intimacy is likely to translate into physical intimacy. Of course, there can be lots of other factors you should maybe need to consider, but I think that's one of the biggest ones and probably one of the most overlooked ones. So in short, you're helping each other grow, right? You want their happiness, you want their being, you see their potential, you value it, you love it, you crave it, and so you support them in growing toward it. That's what makes romantic love, that's one of the things that makes romantic love distinct from all the other types of love, is it is a team effort. It's two people being on each other's side, sharing the journey together, and so make it an actual journey and don't think you've already hit the destination and everything should just be happy and roses from now on. Okay, so that's it for true romance. I was about to say we're done with romantic love because those are the main two, but actually it's the next 2 videos which touch on a major facet of romantic love of either type, and especially of the first type. And so we'll cover those, and then we'll get on to even some more love types. So I hope you're feeling enlightened and smarter and excited about the fact that understanding these things helps you hijack the system and not just be led along by fate, but you can actually do things to increase your odds of loving people better, being a better lover, and being loved better in return. So see you in the next video. Love you.